It's about making your voice count, having some self-determination. And when there's not opportunities for people to join the after-school club for whatever reasons, maybe the system needs to change a little bit to be more open and accessible to people who haven't flourished within systems that are currently provided. Not everybody wants to be in the debate team. Not everybody wants to be a student athlete. So what other ways around culture and around community can we provide a vehicle for young people to feel a part of something, to have a sense of ownership and power over these things, and have some self-determination? And this is the story of many of our cultural communities.
Well, it seems like Carlos has this incredible amount of passion that he wants to make sure that everybody gets well served in the community.
There's this one gentleman who walked in the office. He seemed like maybe he was a homeless person. And so I said, is there anything I can help you with? And he said, well, you know, I'm just looking for Carlos. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, he's not here today. And then after a couple minutes, maybe of warming up, he says to me, you know, will you just let him know that I stopped by? And he gave me his name. And I said, sure, I'll let him know. And he's walking out the door and he says, you know, that guy really gives me hope. And sometimes people like me, we just really need some hope. And I was like, wow. This is why when people call, they don't want to talk with anybody else. They don't want to leave a message. They want to speak directly to him.
It's about acknowledging people. It's about treating people the way you would want to be treated. I think that myself and many others have had experiences where they walk into a room or they walk into a business and no one acknowledges them. And that's very dehumanizing. You know, we need to honor and respect the maker in everyone, or the life energy, the spirit energy in everyone. And a simple way to do that is to share a smile, a hello, a head nod. Just acknowledge someone. And I think that if you have a hard time getting respect from someone, be willing to give it.
There was a young girl who we know her mother because she walks by the office. But he was concerned because he was driving by, he waved to her, and she looked up and she looked really sad or kind of scared. So he pulled over and he's like, what's going on? What's wrong? And just because she looked sad or scared, and she was sitting outside on her steps. She was locked out of her house. Apparently there was some miscommunication. Somebody didn't make it home on time to get her off the bus or in the door. She had been sitting out there for a little while. It was getting darker. He was concerned that she was sitting out there and nobody was home, and he's like, her grandmother doesn't live too far. So that what he was able to find out, could you help get her to her grandmother? But he had been standing there trying to call different Walgreens, because the little girl said her mom worked at Walgreens, to let the mom know that she was locked out. And that's when I had pulled up. But those are the little things, those little acts of kindness that, you know, he develops relationships with people because he honestly, genuinely does care.
How are we getting them down there? Do we have transportation getting down
Well, that's what we should do is, yeah, they will have to get themselves here. But in terms of breaking them down into teams and getting them in strategic locations, I think we should utilize the vehicles that we have here. Okay. We're helping the West Side neighbors and residents to claim power by using their voice through the power of voting, by getting information about polling places, helping people get through barriers with the mechanics of voting. We're helping with transportation issues, interpretive services, and what we're doing is we're trying to not tell people who they should vote for, but help them make their voice count through voting. Getting out there with our feet in the street in a grassroots manner, we're knocking on doors and we're asking people if they voted, if they need to know where they have to go to vote, if they need any information about same-day registration. Our democracy works best when it has as much participation as possible. Yeah. And so I want to thank you all for being here. I see leaders in front of me because a lot of people talk about what's happening, but when you get somewhere with your feet, that shows your dedication and your commitment. Do you have a question? So what we do beyond that is, okay, so now you voted, now what can you do? What are other ways to build and claim power in this community? What are other ways to make sure your voice counts? And organizing and WESCO as a vehicle allows an opportunity, just one opportunity, one way that people can make sure their voice counts.
He has just been a great mentor in this organizing work.
People started to realize that, yep, not only does he know a lot of people, he knows what these people want and what is essential to their lives in the community in West Side.
You know, I love people. I really love people, just in general. And so the thing that I think that I'm most proud of is changing the reputation and the credibility of the organization, or being a part of that change, in terms of a lot of people in the past would have said that this is only a vehicle for the voice of the rich white people on the bluff. And nowadays, you see young, old, black, white, brown, Asian, you name it. And people are, when they walk in here, are treated with respect and fundamental human dignity that everyone deserves.